everybody, and welcome to Pandora Astrology's video about the lunar eclipse here in July of 2019. It's coming up on the 16th of the month, and a lunar eclipse is also going to be a full moon, which means that the sun and the moon are opposite each other in the sky. Here's the sun at 24 degrees of Cancer, here's the moon at 24 degrees of Capricorn, and they are placed near the north and south nodes, which is, again, some of these are the factors necessary to make it an actual eclipse rather than just a full or new moon. So a lunar eclipse has a different feel from a solar eclipse. What they have in common is that all kinds of eclipses will show you your shadow, and will also, I like to call it, introduce a shadow agent, a planet or planets that are participating with the eclipse in showing you something that you may have hidden away or don't really like to look at every day. The moon, being the emotional creature in us, is going to make this an emotional eclipse, and lunar eclipses are that way. I've heard them called an emotional roto-rooter. Another thing to know about the eclipse from a technical standpoint is, and I'm going to pull my handy dandy pocket astrologer for this. This is a great tool, by the way. That people who will experience this eclipse the most are going to be the ones who live in parts of the world who will be able to see the eclipse directly. So, according to the handy dandy pocket astrologer, that would include Australia, Antarctica, Asia, Africa, Middle East, Europe, and the extreme eastern part of South America. Now, another thing to know is that any eclipse may feel more personal for you if it occurs very near to a degree that is prominent in your own chart. If you have, Mercury in 24 degrees of Capricorn and this moon is sitting there right on your Mercury, well, then you are going to feel this eclipse. Also, if your birthday is happening very near an eclipse, within a few days on either side, then it's going to find its way into your solar return chart and probably have some lasting impact throughout the year. Now, each eclipse has its own particular feel, of course, and this one is going to have to do with the fact that the moon is in Capricorn and that it's conjunct Pluto. So Pluto is the shadow agent for this eclipse, and the sun over there in Cancer creates an interesting polarity and a dynamic there. And Natha, I wonder if you have any thoughts on how this might feel and what people can expect from this eclipse.
Yeah, so like you said, Jamie, the shadow this time is on the moon. So that means that some of our emotional shadows will want to come to the surface. Now, oftentimes with shadow, we don't want to see it, right? We bury our head in the sand because it's too painful, and obviously we've repressed stuff for good reason. But this full moon is going to almost yank you out of your any kind of sleepiness, and it's going to be especially vibrant in that respect because Pluto is sitting right next to the moon, and Pluto is about bringing awareness to things that have not been seen yet, but things that we would do well to see.
Yeah, because Pluto's lord of the underworld, right?
Yep.
Another thing about this eclipse that I'm noticing is that it's along the axis of home, which is Cancer, and the outer world, and the world of career, the world of job. So I think that we can probably expect a lot of conflicts between our home life and our career life, and a lot of challenge around how do I make myself feel nested and comfortable and safe so that I can relax deeply in my home life and get the rest that I need to go out into the world and contend with all of the harshnesses and all of the challenges and goals that tug me out in the world. So there's a sort of a duality, a sort of a polarity around that theme in this eclipse. And Pluto, yeah, is the transformer. So this one could get dark. This one could go deep. This one could really leave us changed, most particularly emotionally, I would think. Natha, did you want to throw anything else in there?
Well, I think that when I see all of the Capricorn activity, and we have collectively been doing a lot of Capricorn lately over this past
So
year,
true.
and I often think of, government, but more personally, our inner government, our inner critic, and the ways that we convince ourselves that we should be doing things right. There's a right way, and it's this way. And so look for some of those things to come up too, and challenge them, because just because we're beating ourselves up about something doesn't mean that we need to be beating ourselves up about it. And we can move towards that Cancerian sun activity and be a little bit softer with ourselves.
Oh, that's so nice. And I'm glad you mentioned the word government, because I'm really fascinated about how Pluto's long-term passage along through the sign of Capricorn has been really stirring things up in government, among world leaders, and showing us a lot of shadow and a lot of darkness just in general in the last several years since Pluto has been in Capricorn. So it wouldn't be surprising at all if this eclipse stirred that pot a little bit more. So look for some interesting news around July 16th. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, and join us next month for the news of the month, and also monthly horoscopes that are now starting to come out from Pandora Astrology. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye-bye.
Bye.